What if a single conversation, a missed shot, or a misplaced document had altered the course of humanity forever? History is filled with moments that teetered on the edge of global transformation. Strange, bizarre events you've probably never heard of, but that came dangerously close to changing everything. Welcome to the Top 10 Facts Club, where we dive into the weirdest, wildest, and most mind-boggling corners of history and the world. If you're into alternate timelines, shocking near misses, and moments that could have rewritten our textbooks, this video is for you. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up. We're counting down the top 10 strange historical events that almost changed the world. 10. The Great Emu War, when Australia lost a war to birds. In 1932, Australia faced an unexpected threat, not from another nation, but from an army of 20,000 large, flightless birds, emus. After World War I, veterans-turned-farmers struggled with emus invading their farmland in Western Australia. The government's bizarre solution? Send in the military, with machine guns. What followed was a campaign known as the Great Emu War. The emus, surprisingly organized and incredibly fast, easily dodged bullets and dispersed before soldiers could get a clean shot. In the end, the emus won. The military withdrew, having expended over 10,000 rounds with minimal impact. Though humorous in hindsight, the war highlighted deep agricultural and bureaucratic failures. Had the war succeeded, it might have paved the way for bizarre military interventions in civil affairs. Instead, it became a symbol of nature outsmarting man, and of a government so desperate it lost a war to birds armed only with legs and attitude. 9. Operation Paul Bunyan, the axe murder incident that almost sparked World War III. In 1976, tensions between North and South Korea nearly escalated into global warfare over a tree. A group of U.S. and South Korean soldiers attempted to trim a poplar tree in the Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, that was blocking the view of a United Nations checkpoint. North Korean guards ambushed the team, killing 2 U.S. officers with axes. In response, the U.S. launched Operation Paul Bunyan, a massive show of force involving bombers, helicopters, 12,000 troops on alert, and nuclear-capable aircraft. The goal? Chop down the tree. As the axes swung again, this time under full military guard, the world watched in horror, fearing a misstep could ignite World War III. Miraculously, North Korea backed down. This bizarre tree-trimming incident remains one of the closest brushes with war post-Korea armistice. Had the North fired a single shot, it could have triggered World War III, all over a poplar tree.
Number 8.
The Dancing Plague of 1518, when dancing was deadly. In the summer of 1518 in Strasbourg, France, a woman named Frau Trofea walked into the street and began dancing. Days passed. She didn't stop. Soon, dozens joined her. Within a month, 400 people were uncontrollably dancing in the streets. Many collapsed from exhaustion, strokes, or heart attacks. Authorities, believing the affliction was caused by overheated blood, bizarrely hired musicians to play, thinking it would help dance the illness out. It only made things worse. Today, historians believe it may have been mass hysteria, ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic mold, or stress-induced psychosis. Had it spread further across Europe, it could have destabilized already fragile regions during a time of famine and plague. The dancing plague is a terrifying reminder that psychological phenomena, when combined with social stress, turn a street dance into a mass casualty event. 7. Operation Northwoods, the U.S. plan to fake attacks on Americans. In 1962, the U.S. Department of Defense and Joint Chiefs of Staff approved a top-secret plan called Operation Northwoods. It proposed staging fake terrorist attacks on American soil, hijackings, bombings, and even shootings to justify an invasion of Cuba. The plan involved disguising CIA operatives as Cuban agents and sacrificing real American lives if needed. The goal? Win public support to oust Fidel Castro. Thankfully, President Kennedy rejected the plan outright, but it was a chilling revelation of how far governments might go to manipulate public opinion. Had it been approved, it could have not only led to war with Cuba and the USSR, but also shattered Americans' trust in their own government decades before Watergate. Operation Northwoods is a startling case of reality nearly becoming dystopian fiction. 6. Napoleon's escape from Elba, the 100 days that almost undid Europe. After his initial defeat in 1814, Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled to Elba, a tiny island off Italy. But in February 1815, he escaped and marched back to France. In a stunning twist, soldiers sent to arrest him instead joined him chanting, "Vive l'Empereur!" Within weeks, he'd reclaimed power. European powers scrambled to respond. For 100 days, Napoleon reigned again, undoing the fragile peace that had been negotiated. His return culminated in the Battle of Waterloo. Had he won that battle, Europe's balance of power might have shifted back into chaos, setting the stage for further wars. Instead, he was defeated for good and exiled to St. Helena. But those 100 days serve as a stark reminder that history can pivot wildly on a single man's ambition and charisma. 5. The Day the Sun Went Out, the Carrington Event of 1859. In 1859, British astronomer Richard Carrington observed an intense solar flare, followed by the most powerful geomagnetic storm in recorded history. Within hours, telegraph systems across Europe and North America failed. Sparks flew from wires, igniting fires. Telegraph operators reported being able to send messages even with batteries disconnected, thanks to the sheer power of the solar storm. Had such an event occurred today, it would cripple power grids, satellites, and internet infrastructure, potentially causing trillions in damage and months-long blackouts. The Carrington event was a cosmic warning shot. We were lucky it struck during the pre-electronic age. A similar event today could change civilization as we know it, knocking humanity back into the analog era overnight. 4. The Whiskey Rebellion, America's first internal insurrection. In the 1790s, the fledgling U.S. government imposed a tax on whiskey to pay off war debts. But for frontier farmers, whiskey wasn't just a drink. It was currency. Resistance turned violent in western Pennsylvania. Protesters burned tax collectors' homes and formed militias. President George Washington responded by personally leading an army of 13,000 troops to crush the rebellion, the only time a sitting U.S. president led troops in the field. The swift response preserved federal authority, but had the rebellion succeeded, it might have fragmented the early United States, emboldening future uprisings and weakening the Constitution. The Whiskey Rebellion wasn't just about booze. It was the first major test of federal power. 3. The Deadly Soccer War, a football match that sparked an actual war. In 1969, simmering tensions between Honduras and El Salvador exploded after a series of heated World Cup qualifying matches. After one match, violence broke out between fans. Newspapers fanned nationalistic flames. Days later, El Salvador launched a full-scale military invasion of Honduras. Though the conflict had deeper roots, land reform, migration, and political instability, the soccer matches were the final spark. The brief but deadly war lasted 100 hours, causing over 2,000 deaths. The soccer war proved how sports, nationalism, and media manipulation can fuel deadly consequences. Had international diplomacy failed entirely, it might have escalated into a World Cup that nearly kicked off World War. 2. The 1979 Nuclear False Alarm, the night we almost nuked ourselves. On November 9, 1979, a computer glitch at NORAD, North American Aerospace Defense Command, indicated a full-scale Soviet nuclear strike against the U.S. Panic ensued. Nuclear bombers were scrambled, missile crews went on alert, and the President's emergency decision team was activated. The world came within minutes of nuclear war, until someone realized it was a training tape mistakenly left running. A simple human error nearly ended modern civilization. This terrifying event revealed just how fragile nuclear safeguards could be. If even one person had misinterpreted the data or panicked, Tens of millions could have died in hours. It's a haunting reminder of how our survival sometimes hinges on a glitch that almost deleted the world. 1. The lost Nazi nuke. Hitler's nuclear program almost took off. While the U.S. was building the atomic bomb under the Manhattan Project, Nazi Germany had its own nuclear ambitions. Led by Werner Heisenberg, their program suffered from sabotage, resource shortages, and internal confusion. But had things gone differently, had they secured enough uranium or avoided Allied bombing campaigns, they might have developed a working nuclear weapon first. Imagine a scenario where Hitler possessed the bomb in 1944. London, Moscow, or Paris could have been annihilated. The course of World War II and the entire world would have shifted dramatically. Instead, their failure spared the planet from an even darker, alternate history. But the near miss underscores how razor-thin the margin was between Allied victory and a bombshell that thankfully never dropped. History isn't just written by victors, it's shaped by accidents, miscalculations, and moments where reality teetered on the edge of the unbelievable. Each of these strange events was a coin toss away from rewriting the world. Which of these strange moments shocked you the most? What if the emus had declared independence? Let us know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to Top 10 Facts Club, and join us next time for more mind-bending dives into the hidden chapters of history. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and always question the timeline you're in.